What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Zay's Reception Channel. For this episode, we're gonna be reacting to God knows what, but I'm gonna be reacting to Mac Mullah's reaction to Poetic Flacco's video. Lil Durk's case is what we're looking into. But before we get into that, I want y'all to check out this beautiful hot honey chicken, fried chicken. Oh, good googity muggy. Hot honey, baby. Hot honey. We doing it big over here in the South Side. Down here in no little old South Boston, Virginia. Then I got the waffles. Go with it. Come on. We eating good, y'all. We eating good. Without further ado, let's get cracking.
They're gonna be home in about 6 weeks, man. That's my prediction. About 6 weeks, they're gonna release Lil Durk from jail, man.
No,
the prosecutors done effed up badly, and even the judge is saying it.
You said it not, but it's a very good chance that he do come home if the prosecutors fucked up.
Don't understand.
I mean, they can move for a mistrial, but if the prosecutors fucked up, they could be messing up his certain inalienable rights.
Or don't know the implications of what took place today in court. Let me explain, okay? The prosecutors have been trying to charge Lil Durk with another murder because the current murder they got Lil Durk in jail for is just not enough.
So Lil Durk has been essentially sitting in a jail cell for almost 2 years. His trial was supposed to start next month, and that is for the 2022 killing of Savia Robinson out in Los Angeles. Prosecutors allege that this was a murder-for-hire plot stemming from a feud with rapper Quando Rondo, and that Robinson was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But then, what was it, less than 3 months before trial? The government drops a bomb, and what just happened exploded in their faces, essentially. Durk was handed a new superseding indictment with new charges. We're talking entirely separate allegations that stretched across state lines in years. They're talking alleged involvement in a shooting in Chicago, this attempted murder in Atlanta, I believe even this apparently or allegedly drug trafficking operation. So all these different things.
Right.
And suddenly,
that nigga fucking serial killer too, ain't it? Hell, do your homework on what a serial killer is.
This case wasn't just about one episode. It was no longer just about this Los Angeles incident. It was potentially going to be a trial that included a whole different set of alleged crimes that his lawyers argued the government could have brought from the beginning.
This is like your girlfriend checking your location and seeing you were at Fogo de Chao at 10 p.m. and then automatically convicting you of cheating only because when she was your side chick, you would take her to Fogo de Chao when your girlfriend at the time went to do her overnight job at the hospital. No, I could be a changed man. Not guilty, huh? But that applies to Lil Durk in this regard. They're saying Lil Durk committed murder for hire with Quando Rondo's cousin, that he paid OTFDD and these other people to commit this murder. However, the prosecutors have been unable to name and list anything tangible that Lil Durk has given these people, such as money, I don't know, such as a record deal. They have not been able to name what Lil Durk paid these people.
Right.
So because they're unable to name what Lil Durk paid these people, they now have to go scrambling and bring this Chicago murder that they got 2 people sitting in jail for about 3 years now who just pled guilty. They're saying that these 2 people are willing to come forward and say that Lil Durk paid them.
Right.
So they're attempting to bring all of this together, in my opinion, to distract the jury. They can try the Lil Pop murder by itself because you would have to prove what Lil Durk paid these people. So now you bring Stephen Mack murder, and now you bring a racketeering. So now you can say, okay, see, look, he paid these people to do this. They're saying he paid them money.
Listen, y'all, YouTube and Meta.
That ain't gonna work. You ain't got no proof behind it. Like, you can say all you want. It's a free country. We all got freedom of speech, but you gotta back that shit up. And you certainly shouldn't be saying something that ain't true. That's against the law too.
OTFDD and these other OTF members, they murdered this guy.
Right.
Even though we can't prove that Lil Durk paid these people over here, but it's still racketeering because they're still OTF and they did it on behalf of OTF. Durk's the type of OTF guilty for this murder.
Right.
Stephen Mack murder to me is like a non-factor. Like, I don't think they can prove anything in regards to Stephen Mack murder, like, at all. Yo, they're only bringing this as like enhanced evidence. You, under no circumstance, can you go to a jury of Lil Durk peers and prove that Lil Durk paid for Stephen Mack's murder. Under no circumstances. Lil Durk had no type of like connection, no text messages, no calls, no nothing. All they have is one of the killers was in a Lil Durk music video. That's all they have.
That's not all they have.
They're trying to say that when Lil Durk brought the $1 million.
What they got there, Matt? Since you know so much, what they got? Expose the shit or shut the fuck up.
To his interview with Gillian Wallow, that Lil Durk used a portion of that money to pay the killers off. No evidence whatsoever. So these folks is stuck. And even the judge said it in court today. The judge said, yo, are you guys only trying to bring this Stephen Mack murder because you guys know y'all can't win this Lil Pop murder? When the judge is telling you that in court, that should tell you something. Man, they're coming home, man.
And he said to the prosecutor, he said the last cases that you brought along.
Because the reason I don't think he's coming home. FBI, open up! He might. This might be good news for him for sure, but I still don't think he's coming home because of conspiracy and the feds. You know what I'm saying? I think
they still gotta prove it.
I think when the feds want you, they're gonna get you. Basically, you know what I'm saying?
No.
And I think that
they still gotta prove it.
I don't know what evidence they have. I'm not a professional at this case. All I do is react to these videos. I don't do no outside research. I don't really give a damn that much. But I will say that conspiracy is a thing, okay? And I don't think he's coming home. I think he won't get life because of these things. I think he won't get the maximum sentence because of these things. But I don't think he's coming home because of these things. You feel?
Court. He said, you guys looked happy. You looked happy to be doing prosecutions. He made some little comment where he basically said, you know, he said the last few cases you brought to my courtroom, you didn't look like you'd rather be at the beach. So why can't you do 2 Durk murder cases? And basically said, so this was crazy. I couldn't believe this. This one shocked me. This one actually just caught me off guard and just made me realize, yo, this shit really going all the way. Basically, the judge said outright, they said, so, you think you're going to lose the LA trial and that's why you've put in the Chicago trial? Just said it straight up, bold. Stop saying the same thing. It was almost like cut the shit. He said, so you think you're going to lose the LA trial? That's why you're doing this. And I swear the courtroom laughed. It was almost like a moment of comic relief. Like everybody that supports Durk in that courtroom was almost like finally like vindication. We're kind of hearing what we want to hear. And, you know, a lot of people have been telling people what they want to hear on this case. But it was almost, to hear the judge say, like, yo, this is actually a desperate move. Like, so you think you're going to lose? Is that why you're doing this? Because you're not giving me a straight answer.
Just to let y'all know, I'm not throwing food on the floor. I got 2 German Shepherds sitting right there. Just to let y'all know.
So it was like he was frustrated and pissed off and tired of the prosecution just saying the same thing over and over and over again.
What's hurting and helping Lil Durk at the same time is that the prosecutors got to come to court and look across and see Drew Finland and Brian Steele, 2 of probably the top 20 greatest lawyers America has ever produced. They got to come to court and see those 2 people on Lil Durk trial. That's why the prosecutors are going so hard. They understand that if you come to court with a case that's even a little weak, Brian Steele and Drew Finland is going to sniff it out.
Right.
So it's helping Lil Durk in terms of Lil Durk has 2 of the top 20 lawyers in American history on this case, but it's hurting him because the prosecutors is pulling every unethical trick in a book, bruh. They is trying to nail him to the cross even before trial starts because they understand if there's a slither of hope for Lil Durk, Drew Finland and Brian Steele is gonna get that slither of hope.
That he got to the point where he's like, so really what this is about, you think you're gonna lose? I couldn't believe it.
If y'all know who Brian Steele is, that's one of the guys that helped get Young Thug out. But he also told Young Thug to not take the deal. He would have been all right. But you see what happened.
So basically after that, the judge said that the suspects, they never asked to delay the trial to 2028. He said it was reasonable. You know, they wanted to have a little stay at the start to get to the bottom of some of the evidence. Durk initially wanted to stay the trial. It got delayed. And then he said he wants to stick with his speedy trial rights. And again, it's like the judge kept on saying the Speedy Trial Act isn't going to dictate what I'm going to do. After that, the judge basically said, so... And it was after that he made that comment that was basically saying, so you think you're going to lose. And then the judge kind of softened the blow again, but said it.
Let me put it to you like this. I just did some research. Attorney Drew Finland has secured complete acquittals for 2 publicly documented individuals in major federal jury trials. So I don't know how many federal
He know what he's doing, basically, Matt.
trials.
You know what he's doing.
Yes, he went to. He only got not guilty verdicts twice.
You finna be wrong, my boy.
Okay. But he doesn't really go to the feds a lot of times. So I don't know how accurate that is, but he secured a full acquittal from Waka Flocka Flame in 2023 on 23 counts against the rapper, which included conspiracy, which is impressive. If he got him off for conspiracy, that's crazy. Money laundering and wire fraud following the federal jury, and then 2023 he successfully defended.
We already know they two of the best defense attorneys just in America right now. Like everybody know that, and for you to have to do research on that, do your homework on you being from Chicago.
And a client facing over $40 million in shipping fraud, winning a complete sweep of not guilty verdict in a San Francisco federal international money laundering case. So that's impressive. I'm not even gonna sit here on cap. That's very impressive. I don't know about Brian Steele. I could look up Brian Steele too. But
one of the best. I think he's better than Drew Finley.
But most of the time he goes to like state court though.
Was in a different way. It was like, so what? Do you think you have a better chance to win with the?
It really don't matter. The laws is the laws, and if you went to school to learn that, you could do on the state level. It's damn near the same on the federal level, except they got more regulations. That's it all.
Chicago incident included, and they didn't really have an answer for that. And the judge was on smoke. The judge basically said, I think that you think the Chicago murder is a feature, but I think it's a bug. Now, this is like a famous catchphrase that goes around. You know, some people think it's a feature, other people think it's a bug. You know, it's like a software terminology where it's basically like, you know, some like I don't know, like a good example, like the fact that when you scroll through Facebook, Instagram, you don't really see all the people you follow. You see the people they want to push you. It's like you might think that's a bug. Why am I not seeing all the people I follow? But that's their feature. Their algorithm is actually what's pushing things on you that they wanna push their agenda. And when the judge said that, it was like, whoa, like. He is cooking these fools. So the judge basically said outright, like, he basically said he wasn't convinced. He basically just said he wasn't convinced. Like, he wasn't convinced of what the prosecution was saying. He said it's flatly unfair that, you know, we're going to add all these murders on. We're going to expect the jury to kind of comprehend all of this stuff that Durk had going on city to city. And he said really he felt like it was an attempt to get prejudicial evidence brought into the LA trial to create a bias in front of the jury. And it was like, whoa. Damn, okay, like the judge is saying that? That's the type of shit you would expect Durk and his team to say, but the judge was saying it. And the judge says, look, I'm not surprised that you want a trial with both murders, but you haven't made a good point as to why that should happen.
Lil Durk might have been blessed enough that they probably got two of the biggest nincompoops to come and prosecute him, because when the judge was asking them for responses, eventually, again, this is no lie, this is to Traveler Ross and other people in court. Eventually, like, the prosecutors got lost for work. Like, after the judge started to really drill into them, y'all doing this because y'all can't beat that other case, right? Like, y'all can't win that other case. They just eventually concede, said, Your Honor, we would like to just write something written to get our responses. The judge said, huh? They told the judge, hey, we don't have a good answer right now. We would like to take a break to write something down, and we'll respond in a written notice. The judge told him, bro, my mind is already made up. Like my mind is already made up, bro. If you can't convince me right now, nothing is gonna work afterwards. They couldn't articulate themselves in the court of law, lawyers, as to why they needed to charge Lil Durk with racketeering and the Stephen Mack murder on top of this Lil Pop murder. And you know the day went well in court because Lil Durk and them lawyers walked out that courtroom, man, with a with a pep in their step, bro. They was feeling themselves, bro. Even Lil Durk's dad spoke afterwards, and they was feeling like, yeah, this is it. Like, Durk coming home. Because if they can't, like, trump up the charges, and you gotta really stand on the foundation that Lil Durk paid OTF OTF Vani and other people to do this murder, you can rely on, on the rats and the witnesses, but these are people charged with murder. Right. How credible are they gonna be?
So look, we're gonna be very, very brief because, as our incredible colleague Christy O'Connor said, there's not a lot.
That Drew Finley right there, and that looked like Brian Steele back there standing all weirdly,
actually
like
say,
he a robot or
given
something.
the thoroughness of his honor.
Why he standing like that? So Brian Steele standing funny as a bitch, like his leg hurt or something.
Filings and briefings done, and such a great job by Ms. O'Connor. And so we appreciate the fact that his honor is one of those days that makes it so rewarding to be a trial attorney when a judge takes everything that was submitted and goes through it so thoroughly and in such great detail. And so I'll ask you that was in the courtroom and then have read the filings to rely on his honor's questions today and the points that he made. And as you, but most importantly, as our innocent client, Durk Banks, and I am not innocent. Our innocent client, Durk
that nigga
Banks,
ain't innocent.
Is waiting. We are looking forward.
The nigga is innocent until proven guilty. Fuck us, nigga.
Business today when we get this order, so that.
And they ain't proved that he was guilty yet, so he innocent.
We can see if we can be at this courthouse on August 20th, 2026 for the trial that we've been working on and preparing for 22 months. So we appreciate you all being here today. We're super excited for his honor's order to come out today, and we so appreciate the thoroughness that took place in that.
With us and ruled in our favor today and granted our motion. Alhamdulillah, man. The prosecutor tried to bring them bogus charges, but the judge severed those charges, and we're ready for trial now. So we thank everybody for their support, their prayers, everything that they're pouring out to us. Allah.
Them prayer rugs has been working for Lil Durk, man. Because the luck that Lil Durk has found himself in is insane. Now I'm gonna say this:
he getting lucky. I don't think he's innocent, but I think he's getting lucky. Maybe it's not even luck. Maybe it's just God blessing him. I don't know.
Everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
Give him a second chance. I don't know, but I also don't think that this information really changes much, because all that really happened was, so from my understanding, I could be wrong, but from my understanding, the judge severed the racketeering and the gang counts. Okay. And the judge also, and the judge split the trials up. So the trial, I think he'll be going to 2 trials if I'm not mistaken. So I don't.
But all those 2 trials for the 2 different murders. It's what it sounds like.
I think it's like the best news in the world, but I don't think it's obviously not bad news on the case. One second.
Yes, man. Murder is obviously a very serious thing. So I try to stay neutral. I don't have a side in this. I'm not rooting for Lil Durk to beat it if he's guilty. And if he's innocent, yeah, then free him. But I'm not rooting for somebody to beat anything.
Exactly.
I'm rooting for somebody to prove
justice,
what they really did and didn't do. So if Lil Durk didn't do it, then I hope he proves his innocence.
Exactly.
But we often forget there is somebody's family who is still a part of this. Lil Pop was a brother. He was, a son. He was probably somebody's, like uncle. He was a nephew. He was somebody's family and loved one. So because of that, I'm not here to celebrate. I'm not here to say free Lil. No, if Lil Durk is innocent, free him.
Right.
But if he's guilty, if he's proven guilty,
hopefully
lock his ass up.
Justice is served. But it doesn't look like the prosecutors are interested in justice being served. It looks like they're interested in making sure they railroad somebody. Pause. And that's where we're having an issue with. I'm not here to say free Lil Durk if he's good. Man, if Lil Durk really did this, if he committed this, which I'll be real, if you're asking me,
he did it.
Again, this should have no bearing on the course. But if you're asking me,
you're asking me too.
I think there's a 95% chance that Lil Durk is involved in Lil Pop's murder.
Absolutely.
And a 95% chance that Lil Durk is involved in Stephen Mack's murder.
Absolutely.
Right? Or Stefan Mack. But I'm not part of the jury. I'm not God. I can't say for certain. I'm just saying the Lil Durk that I know
for certain,
and from the evidence I've seen, I think Lil Durk is guilty. But
I think he
should have his just due in court. The prosecutor should be able to take the evidence from this case and try him for it.
Right.
And then if you want to try him for Stefan Mack, then waste your time and go ahead.
Yeah.
Because if you guys remember when Lil Durk first got arrested, I think back in February, they even tried to bring up like the Stephen Mack stuff. but then they ultimately dropped it and went back to the original case because in February,
up, right?
the city of Chicago put out a statement says, we have no intentions on charging Lil Durk with this murder. He's not a suspect.
Of course he did, but that's not really impressive because Lil Durk in bed with the mayor of Chicago. So of course they said that.
We have the two people who committed this murder arrested already, and we are okay with our investigation, and we believe that these are the two people that killed Stephen Mack and only them.
Chicago police is the same people that. Chicago police is the same group of people that knows pretty much. They know all the killers in Chicago and they don't arrest them. So that's not really that impressive for you to say a nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Up until like a year or two ago, you had a 70 or 80% chance to get away with murder in Chicago. Like, so we not really, they word ain't bond. Nigga.
The city of Chicago came out and said, we have no intentions on charging Lil Durk with murder, but yet the feds want to dig up this like 4-year-old case in an attempt to, I guess, make this particular weak case a little stronger. I think that's wrong. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about it.
So this is what I got. So the big development this week. At the last hearing on Tuesday, July 4th, Durk won a significant court victory when the federal judge agreed to separate the newly filed racketeering charges from his upcoming trial. So this is what happened in court. Judge Michael Fitzgerald harshly questioned prosecutors over their decision to add new charges just weeks before trial. At one point, telling the lead prosecutor it was obvious they thought they had a better chance to win if Chicago count was tried with the LA murder case. The exchange got tense, with Fitzgerald openly laughing in disbelief at the government's arguments at several points. The ruling. January 2022 Chicago killing and the alleged 2019 Atlanta attempted murder will be off limits at the trial since prosecutors only introduced them last month in a new indictment. The RICO charges aren't dismissed, though. Durk could still face them in future proceedings. That's not a good sign. Because 9 times out of 10, what
they gonna take all that shit that they didn't get to charge him with, put it in that RICO.
Happen is the federal government will be like, oh, these prosecutors tripping? All right, let's put the best prosecutors on his ass. Let's go get him for this RICO. You know what I'm saying? And then what's next? So here's what's next. The LA murder for hire trial is still on track to start August 20th. He's still facing murder for hire resulting in death and a firearm charge, and he's been in custody without bail since October 2024 arrest. One interesting wrinkle: if the August trial ends in acquittal, he could potentially fight the second trial on double jeopardy grounds. So basically, a big procedural win for the defense. Trial starts in about a month. I think trial starts in August, like 16th or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
It don't mean that much to me. Y'all let me know down in the comments. Y'all believe do y'all believe what Mac is saying, or do you believe what Flacco was saying? Because I honestly think you innocent until proven guilty. The way Mac talking, you're guilty until proven innocent. They ain't brought no kind of evidence saying that Durk had any kind of dealings with anything. No text messages, no nothing, no money. Like, come on now. That shit's over with. You gotta prove murder for hire. You gotta prove how he gave something to him. That's the part you're missing. If you can't prove that he gave none of that shit to nobody, you can't prove that he paid, can't prove that he, booked flights and sent people across the nation. No, you can't prove it, and he's innocent. Simple.
See, August. When is...
Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to let you know when the next time I put up a video. That way you won't miss out. Woo! That chicken and waffles got me hiccuping, y'all. Woo! Till next time. Love, peace, chicken grease.